Hi, I'm Reverend Kathy Itzin, and welcome to this week's edition of Grace, Gratitude, and Generosity. Today, I want to talk about a poem that I found. This is book, Love Poems from God, 12 Sacred Voices from the East and the West. They have taken mystics and saints from around the world, from Muslim, Jewish, and Christian traditions, as well as probably some others, and rewritten a lot of their poetry. So it's the same spirit, but the words are more relevant for today. And this is one that I just happened upon the other day, attributed to Catherine of Siena, and I just really liked it, so I want to share that with you. The sun hears the fields talking about effort, and the sun smiles and whispers to me, "Why don't the fields just rest? For I'm willing to do everything to help them grow." I love that, because especially in times of stress and in times where I can see so much that needs to get fixed or that needs to happen, that needs to be done in my life or in the world and the lives of the people I love, I want to get out there and do it. And like, am I doing enough? Am I doing it the right way? Am I doing it what and how I should be doing it? And that's a stress in and of itself. And this was just what I wanted to hear that day, what I needed to hear. And I want to read that one more time. The sun hears the fields talking about effort, and the sun smiles and whispers to me, "Why don't the fields just rest? For I am willing to do everything to help them grow." And then it ends, "Rest, my dears, in prayer," which I sort of like because it's showing us that it's God, and I sort of don't like because who wants to be praying all the time? And I think it's important to carry that center of who we are and how we live in the world with us no matter what we're doing, not just if we're sitting down in prayer. And you could say, well, what we're doing is prayer, and that's true too. But the other day I was out walking in the woods, and it actually was one of these things from the retreat that we did as a church where we were supposed to go find what grabbed our attention in terms of motion. And so I'm walking in the woods, and what I saw was a little white pine tree about 1.5 feet tall. And then I went farther, and I saw a little oak tree about 1.5 feet tall. And I thought, oh, you know, these things are growing. They have been growing. They're going to continue growing. And I don't see that motion at all. I never will. And previously, someone else, I think it may have been Bernard Walters, said, one of our beloved people, said he loves the smell of the autumn leaves, and actually that's decay. And I thought, whoa, it really is decay. And that is another thing that we don't see happening. And we don't see it in our bodies. We don't see it in most of what's around us, and yet it's happening all the time. And so then I was thinking, isn't that interesting how we've got this force of nature within ourselves and within the entire earth that continues to bring us to growth, continues to transform us, continues to bring healing. And we may do things that encourage that, but it's really not all up to us. If you give a kid food and rest and water, they're going to grow. No matter what happens when you're 90 years old, parts of your body are going to start decaying in some ways and not working as well. And that's already happening with me. I mean, that happens with everybody. We grow and we move on, transform all the time without us doing anything to encourage that. And then we do things to encourage it. We do make specific choices around our growth, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, all the time. But regardless, there's this universal force within us that keeps moving. And in some Asian countries, they would call that the Tao. The Tao faith is based on recognizing that the universe brings us to where we need to go. It's constantly evolving. And so in the Tao faith, you don't push, you don't strive and stress over things because it's all part of the unfolding of yourself and the universe. And I think we've got both options. There's this unfolding of God within us, God within the universe and within the earth. And at the same time, it's important that we do what we can, and we know that too. And where's the line? I don't know. But it is helpful for me to realize that the ground of our being is this. It's the sun saying to the field, relax, you will grow. I'll bring it out of you. And I think there's a truth in that of what God says to us as well. That universe, that universal growth and transformation will happen. We do what we can, and then we can let go and trust.